Greetings and welcome, gentles and ladiesmen, to the finale of Super Castlevania 4. I'm ExoParadigmGamer, and this level's pretty cool. Definitely one of the best final levels in the series, in my opinion. They really nailed the finality atmosphere. It's something I've never really known how to describe very well, but they just do it well here. You know, like they really by the way, the graphics here look great. I mean, look at how all the detail in the stonework and stuff. Those dead Crusader enemies down there, the guys with the heads that have cutlasses. I mean, like, usually what I try to do in this room is if you go in that stone, one of the stones that fall right there, you can land to the staircase that goes down to the next room in midair and just skip most of this room. But most of the time I die doing it, so I decided not to do it in this part. And to my shock and awe, I actually finished this level on my first try. I didn't finish the part after the main level area in my first try, but I did finish this really tough platforming section at the beginning in my first try. And, you know, I thought that was cool, but I've always liked this set piece right here, where you're going across these bridges towards Dracula's tower, and the bridge is like collapsing and turning into bats. And then look at that parallax in the background. It's just masterful, man. Like, they really nailed the art direction and what am I trying to say here? Set pieces for this game. They really did a good job. But this room, it comes close to the dungeon level. It comes close, but when you know what to do, it really isn't that bad. What I did not know to do the first few times I played this game is that do not climb on these stairs from the bottom step. Jump to like the second or third one. Because if you start in the first one, it'll collapse under you, and then there's this instant kill saw blade that's chasing after you. You don't want to keep walking along the stairs, so you'll be sure to fuck up. Land on the second or third step on the stairs, and you will be absolutely fine there. But once you reach this part of the level, the instant kill saw blade stops following you. So now I've got to ride these platforms up. Pretty simple in this first part, not too much to say, just jump across, avoid the spikes, which are instant kill, by the way. And here, there's more of them. Yeah, I'm thinking of the third part coming up, which is pretty damn tough. Like, I totally thought I was going to die like 10 times in this part. I usually do. But I guess the last few times I've played it, I've learned the tricks and trades of this. I don't know. I know how to get through this level really well now, because I've played this game so many times. I really enjoy it, don't you know? Okay, so this is the hard part. What you need to do is jump on that first one. Yeah, jump on this first one, then jump on the second one, and then walk down. Do not jump, or you will hit those spikes and have to redo the room. Yeah, this is, you know, coming back through this game and commentating on it again. Yeah, I died a few times in this part, so I'm skipping to, like, the best run. But, coming back to this game and commentating on it again, I realized, like, I was always kind of under the impression that this game kind of got rid of all the bullshit from the NES games, but there's still plenty of it. Well, not plenty of it, but there's still a decent amount of it. There's still definitely those moments where it's just like, oh, come on. If they had just done this, then it wouldn't... They're making it arbitrarily hard by doing this, but I still maintain that it's an improvement over the NES games, and that Bloodlines and Rondo of Blood kind of backtrack in some regards. But this is Slogra. I believe this is his first appearance. I might be wrong. What makes him really tough is that he just sort of bounces all over the screen, and he has kind of like an erratic pattern. He moves really fast. Whenever you hit him, he goes up to the ceiling and then lands. In the first part where he's got his spear, what you want to do is duck and stay next to him, and then the spear will not hurt you for some reason. Like, there aren't enough frames in the animation for it to, like, go through you, so it just sort of instantly pops up above you. So if you know to do that, then he will not hit you very much. And yeah, I also really like the track that plays here. Like, again, they really nailed the finality of this level. It feels like you are marching on Dracula's tower and getting ready for the final battle. They really did a good job with it. It really wraps up the game nicely with a nice little bow, you know? This is Gaibon. This is... Him and Slogra are usually paired together. Like, whenever you see them in a Castlevania game, Metroidvania or otherwise, they're usually together. And they've actually been reusing these same sprites since the Super Nintendo game, which is kind of interesting. Slogra and Gaibon, their backstory is that they are minions of death, or the Grim Reaper, for those of you who know him that way. And in Castlevania Dawn of Sorrows, I think, for the DS, there's this one area of the castle you go into where you can find Slogras and Gaibons as regular enemies, and they give you a shit ton of experience. And I don't know, sometimes they're bosses, sometimes they're enemies. Oh, and I think they were in Portrait of Ruin too, in the tower where you fight death. I can't remember what it was called, but Tower of Madness. I don't know, something like that. It's usually really pretentious if we're talking about Metroidvania, but this is Death, Dracula's right-hand man. I'm not sure about the exact backstory of that in this continuity. I know his relation to Dracula in the Lords of Shadow series. I believe what happened is, before Dracula became Dracula, he found a special red stone that allowed him to control Death, and now Death is like his minion and his close friend. There's even this one game, Portrait of Ruin again, where you fight Dracula and Death at the same time, and it's kind of cool. But he's nowhere near as tough as he was in many of the other games. I mean, oh my god, Death in fucking Castlevania 1 and 3, he's piss easy and you don't even have to fight him in the second game, but in the first and third games, in the first game, you have to memorize level 5 and know where all the double strike tokens are and know where that holy water is and get all the way through the level in one go, and then you can beat him no problem. But if you try to beat him the regular way, he's impossible. And then in the third game, he has 2 stages and comes after a 10-minute long level. Holy shit, man. So, you know, he's kind of tough here, but he's much more manageable and a lot more fun to fight, in my opinion, just because he isn't so goddamn ridiculously difficult, you know. My best advice is to stand where I am right now, and when he'll fly above you and shoot sickles down at you, and then you can just keep whipping up. It'll destroy the sickles and hit the boss at the same time. When he throws the thing, he'll suck you in, whip him a couple of times, you know, just take what you can get. And one thing I don't... Is that blood? Is that supposed to be blood there when you get hit by the sickles? Because that's always what I thought it was, but what is that supposed... What else could that be? Is that like magical radiation? It's not really explained that well, but I'm gonna go silent here for a moment. Yeah, I mean, the freaking atmosphere in this level is just, like I've said before, they did a really, really good job with it. Like, you're walking up the grand staircase to Dracula, and then the music just goes completely eerie and atmospheric, and just, it really works. They did a really good job with this. I'm beating a dead horse at this point, and yes, I do know about the hidden items under the staircase. I chose not to use it, because I wanted to actually beat this boss without it for once. I usually do use it, but I figured, you know, what the hell, I'm doing a playthrough. I might as well at least try to beat it legitimately. And Dracula in this game really isn't that hard. I mean, compared to Castlevania 1 and 3, not 2, because he's piss easy in 2, but Dracula's he's pretty manageable, I think. I mean, he's still plenty challenging. Another thing that's really weird is that he's deceptively easy in Rondo of Blood, but I'm getting off topic. So he has basically, his attack cycle evolves as you keep fighting him. He doesn't have like 15 stages like he did in Castlevania 3. So he'll keep doing the teleporting spam thing where he'll keep going from one part of the battlefield to another, and then what I recommend, he'll shoot a fireball at you, and what I've always found works is whip it straight on and then use your flail to destroy the little teeny tiny fireballs that come out of it. If you try to jump over it, it'll open upwards and hit you that way. Like, it doesn't end up happening in this. I actually beat him on my second try, which is way better than I usually do when I play this game. It usually takes me like 3 or 4. So the fact that I cut out the first one because I figured you guys didn't care to see that, because this boss can go on for a little long. It was especially bad when I was doing this with Alonzo, but my recommended strategy is there is a boomerang right before the boss. And again, Ego Raptor, the sub-weapons are not useless. They're very useful for Dracula, I find. Especially there's the last few hits on the boss really work well with the boomerang, in my opinion. But the boss will also drop health from those little purple ball things that shoot at you. You want to start kind of underneath it, and it won't go all the way around to the bottom right corner. After you hit him enough, this happens, and it starts playing Simon Belmont's theme, and it's fucking awesome. You know, his face will also turn to a skull. The lightning will kind of come down in even spaces, so if you stand a certain space away from the boss, you won't get hit. Use the boomerangs to hit the boss's head, so that you can focus on dodging the lightning while the boomerang does its thing. I mean, this boss is a lot of fun, I think. He's not too hard, he's not too easy. I mean, that pretty much sums up this game in a nutshell. It's challenging, but it's not challenging for the wrong reasons, for the most part. And the Dracula fight really caps it off really well. It's still pretty easy to get hit by those things, and so you gotta be careful. And there we go, I got him. So yeah, figured I'd let the music play there because it's one of the favorite tracks in the series, but I mean, yeah, that was Super Castlevania 4, and it's just a fucking awesome game. What can I say? I mean, everything just sort of comes together here. The level design is great, the control is smooth and easy to pick up and play, and so much better than the games that came before it, and frankly, a lot of the games that have come since. The music and graphics are both great. Like, the graphics look so amazing for an early release Super Nintendo game. The music sounds excellent and is just chock full of atmosphere and creative uses of instruments. You know, like, it takes everything that we did love about the original NES trilogy and removes what we didn't like. or at least what I didn't like. I can't speak for everyone, because I know there are a lot of people out there who believe that the NES games are the best, and blah 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 blah. But, I mean, people can believe what they want, and it's never my place to tell people what to believe. I can, always offer what my own opinion is and why I believe it, but in my opinion, when it comes to something that I come back to Super Castlevania 4 all the time, because it's just so much fun to re-experience again and again, and that's not something I can say about Castlevania 1 and 3. I'll come back to Castlevania 1 every once in a while. Castlevania 3 is a game that I stay far, far away from because of how frustrated I was. Because, people will say that difficulty is what makes a game good. There's so many retro enthusiasts out there who genuinely believe that if a game is too easy, it's not any good. And I just could not disagree more. There is more to a gaming experience than difficulty, and I think that's something that Super Castlevania 4 understands. It understands that challenge is part of the experience, but good control, good level design, good music, good graphics, all those other things are just as important. Just as, or if not more important, I guess is what I'm saying here. I feel like there was something that they understood with this game that, that they sort of dropped in Rondo of Blood and Bloodlines. I mean, those games are fine enough, and I guess I enjoy them more than, well, I can say I enjoyed Rondo of... The problem with Bloodlines is that it doesn't have unlimited continues, but that's a whole nother story. But Rondo of Blood is a decent game, and people will say that it's the best because it's got the multiple pathways and whatnot, but honestly, I'd prefer to have the good control. I'd prefer to have the atmospheric music. I'd prefer to have the good, memorable levels. I mean, Rondo of Blood is, again, a decent game, but I feel like the control's just a step backward. I feel like they regressed back into the NES sort of gameplay style a little too much, and because of that, I genuinely believe that Super Castlevania 4 is the best game in the Classic series, and who knows, we might get a new Classic series game someday, especially with the Lords of Shadow trilogy, or saga, or whatever the hell they're calling it. It's over now. They've released Lords of Shadow 2. We don't know what the future of the series holds. I suspect that they're gonna, end up labeling it as like a side universe sort of thing, and then go back to the Metroidvania style. I don't know what they're gonna do, but whatever they do, I'm sure that a better classic style Castlevania game could be made, but But at any rate, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with this playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it, and as for what you guys can expect coming up next, I do have an editorial planned, I do have a review planned, and I hope to get those to you guys relatively soon. I don't know, my free time is not exactly, tremendous at this moment in time, but I hope to get those to you guys soon, and I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough. If you guys do, I didn't really see any of this when I was going back through the other parts, but if you guys do have requests for me, feel free to list those in the comments, because I really want to make sure, my subscriber base is growing, and I appreciate that, and I want to make sure that I can continue to give you guys stuff that you want. So if you got a request, shout it out, and I'll consider it. But at any rate, this has been Let's Play Super Castlevania 4. I'm ExoParadigmGamer, and I will see you guys next time.